Okay guys, a little update here with the DPS. So as you can see, I have added additional spell here, Mana Tempest, in place of armor salvaging that we had. We no longer need armor salvaging, we just do way too much DPS. We don't really need any armor breaking on the mobs. We only need armor breaking on the boss, and the bosses naturally will get armor broken by our passive armor break. So here's the Bonestorm total DPS that we can get. Let's ramp up our Sigil first. We slap Mana Tempest, and let's see the DPS now. Oof, that's quite a lot. That's quite a lot. Yeah, that was 1.7 million DPS before adding anything else. In combat, that's going to be much more due to abilities like this one, which massively increase our damage whenever we critical hit, which is Crushing Wave, Moment of Truth additional, but it's only critical damage, never mind. Whereas there is another one, I'm sure. Additional 50% spell damage if we've dealt critical recently. Um, and additional 40% spell damage. Oh, I think that's getting calculated in the tooltip though. Anything else? Mm, yeah, I think for general damage, that's we get up to like 50% more damage whenever we critical strike for a couple of seconds. We just do 40% more damage, which brings our total DPS of the Bonestorm to 2.4 million DPS. And for some reason, I'm not sure why I'm staying with these rings. I've been running these rings for no reason, and this is the correct. Okay, this is the correct DPS that we can have. I was running rarity rings, and with the DPS rings, it's going to be much different. Check the DPS out. First hit is not that big, but the second hit, boom, 2.2 million without any additional. Boom, another 2.2 million. And you can see we can hold this up for like 3 hits total. And when we hit the boss 3 times like this, he's just going to disappear for sure. Yep, that's pretty much it, guys. I've just removed a single spell here. We no longer have all of these passives. We just added the Wolf Pack and the Mana Tempest, as the Wolf Pack will extract the Impales from our Bonestorm, which when it's 2.2 million damage Bonestorm, those Impale extractions, even though the Wolf itself deals like minimal damage, you can see it does nothing basically. It's just very unbuffed, 0 minion skills, low life Wolf with 0 damage, but whenever it hits, it's going to extract the Bonestorm Impale, which is going to be insanely large magnitude. And this way, these wolves, since they are using attack skills, the only way to extract Impale is using attacks, and we are a caster, we do need these wolves. The way we guarantee that they do their job is by having Last Gasp, which is going to keep them alive. We're also running Amanamos Tithe because it's a good opportunity to have 3 extra abyssal monsters whenever we don't have that headhunter juiced up yet. It's going to be good for us whenever the minions die. Additionally, they get some rapid attacks to stack the impales faster. Essence Harvest to help with our mana, because as you can see, this build is very heavily mana reliant. And then we have Rumira's Requital, just to add a bit more life to our pool in general. Besides those, we have Time of Need to help with life and Mana Remnants to help with mana. The rest is the same as before, nothing has changed. I have updated my Reef Staff to a better one, so that we can have extra fire and extra lightning damage. The reason I did that is I realized that we don't really need to spam storm anymore, because these extra percentages here are going to proc shock and ignite all the time, which is going to drop our mana remnants. So we don't really need to run thunderstorm unless we want to combo it with thrashing vines, and this will be only on boss basically. Everything else is the same. Our thrashing vices are armor breaking ability, Our Bone Cage is our main mobs clearing ability, and Bonestorm is our main boss killing ability. We can do all the content, any content. As you can see, it's a lot of DPS. Obviously, I'm going to be able to kill everything pretty fast. And if you're asking about tankiness, I've made myself even tankier now by adding a bit more armor and upgrading my slots. This build could go a long way still. It's missing 2 levels of all spell skills from this staff. It's also missing 2 levels on the Sigil staff. It's going to give a better Sigil. Also 20 level Sigil would be better. And we are also missing 2 levels of spell skills in the amulet. You can imagine that when we hit all those spell skills, we are going to have very insane build with very huge damage. And in that case, I'm going to have mana issues. So that we don't have mana issues, we are going to redistribute some physical damage nodes here, which are increasing just basically our damage, to add mana efficiency. Mana efficiency you can get from conservative casting and efficient casting. I only have these two for now, but if we get more levels in our spells, we are not going to need that much damage. That's why we can transfer to Mind Eraser, Aspiring Genius, to gain additional Arcane Surge, or instead of that, because we already run stuff that give us a chance to 40% chance to proc Arcane Surge. I think it's what it was on. I'm not sure which one was it, but we do have it. We have Arcane Surge somewhere in our skills. Oh, right, there it is. Our Mana Tempest can give us Arcane Surge, so we could also just improve the effectiveness of it. This way, whenever we cast Mana Tempest, our mana is going to, instead of go down, it's going to regenerate during the Mana Tempest. You can see that I can maintain the Mana Tempest even now, but without casting spells. If I cast spells, I'm going to need my Arcane Surge. You can see here, Arcane Surge, and it's starting to regenerate, even though I'm still maintaining the storm.
Yes. Inspiring.
Additional mana efficiency that you could potentially get is you could instill, using these envy, fear, and greed in this order, to have mental toughness. Mental toughness is going to give you extra mana efficiency. After you get those extra levels and cap yourself probably at like level 37 Bonestorm, yes, you can get level 37 Bonestorm with this build maximum. Maybe there are ways with corruptions. I could probably double corrupt some stuff and it will give me extra levels of corrupted gems, which, by the way, my gems are all corrupted. Level 21, you can see 1 level from corruption and Bone Cage. The rest of them I didn't bother because it doesn't change that much. But those can get up to level 40, which is the maximum cap. And when you get that, you will notice that you can only click once of those and your entire mana pool will be gone. That's why you are going to change these nodes from spell damage into mana regeneration. You're going to also potentially get these nodes here for extra mana regeneration, and just cap anything that you see on the tree with mana, because you're no longer going to need all that damage. The intrinsic level is going to give you enough damage to just change everything from damage to mana regeneration and maybe some defensives. Right now, I have everything put into pure damage. I have 0 defenses almost. I think there is 4 nodes here that I have 4 defenses. Everything else is pure critical damage and physical damage and spell damage and critical chance. I have these 3 here, which give me extra stats and elemental ailment threshold. Not that I need it, nothing is ever hitting me, but imagine if we have a more open area, more open layout of the map, those ranged mobs are going to hit us. And if we are playing with 120% rarity, most of you know that these 120% rarity maps are going to have insane freezing and cold mechanics. Let me find one just so I can show you what I mean. And those, we are going to need our elemental ailment threshold up. Yeah, you can see 125% increase freeze build, and sometimes they do extra cold damage that stacks on top of the chill magnitude and you just get frozen immediately. That's why I have a fix for it. I'm just running warm blooded, and whenever we get frozen by cold attacks, right, our mana is going to take the damage, right? And so whenever we get frozen, we can do a very simple trick. First of all, we're always waiting for our time of need, so we just press both of our flasks at the same time when we're getting frozen, and this will almost always guarantee that we survive. First of all, because our mana pool is doubled, the mob first need to go through 1600 mana, and only then they have to go through my health and energy shield, which makes this support gem Warm Blooded here very useful because it reduces the duration of the freeze enough for you not to die when you get frozen, and then for the next couple of seconds the mobs simply can't freeze you because you have additional protection from freezing whenever you get frozen. So this is basically guaranteeing that we never get killed by a freeze, even though we get frozen a lot. We don't care. Let them freeze us. They freeze us. You can see I have the duration here. Even though the ailment threshold is low, we get frozen and we don't care. For the other, for shock and ignite, we don't really care because we can just spam spells and regen our energy shield, which will cover the damage, which is coming from these gloves here. That being said, I believe I've covered everything. You absolutely need 230 spirit. No other way to achieve this. You do need the cast of critical, time of need, mana remnants, and wolf pack to run this build. All of them are insanely important for this build, especially the custom critical. It's our main clearing spell. Detonate Dead is absolutely insane. And we also run an additional entangle with overgrowth, which adds additional explosions whenever we hit it with those thunderstorms. Which on boss we change for additional entangle, and you will see just an insane amount of overgrown entangles under the boss with insane amount of their little explosions from their vines, right? They have a lot of exploding vines. No, this is the basic attack that they have. They have explosions. You can see when, for example, thrashing vines also have it. If we put, you see these little purple thingies, which are going to insta explode, right? Whenever the storm, up, up, boom, boom, you can see them, and you can imagine that with custom critical, this is going to spam a lot more. That's all for me, guys. I think that's pretty much everything I have to share about this build, and it's almost at the Uber endgame, and I'm making the Uber endgame content without any issue with my 2.5 million DPS. Thanks everyone, bye.